and the Thunder.
Wow.
Because what I saw unfold on TV before the national audience was imposter syndrome. It was, wait a second, is it true that everyone only watches the NBA come playoff time? If that's true, then people really only start paying attention to the Thunder despite having a historically dominant, a historically significant regular season in 2024 and 2025. This is when the lights turn on, especially when you see the performance where everyone's turning the game off in the first quarter against the Grizzlies, like you mentioned. I saw a team that has been there before with the Denver Nuggets, who might be plotting around, messing around in the regular season, not getting the seed they might deserve if you want to actually power rank these teams because their record just quite wasn't there. I saw a Thunder team that melted down, stupid fouls. Even just the jump ball where Aaron Gordon got on the ground, got dirty, got the timeout where it could have been a jump ball, but it wasn't because of his hustle, and just outclassed in the moments. And listen, hand up, I'm not a big regular season basketball viewer. I turn on for this part of the season in the NBA, but that's what I saw. I saw a nation that doubts Denver every turn, and I feel foolish being one of those people because if I were to put hard-earned money right now on a team to win that series, yeah, it's easy because they're up 1-0, but I would bet on the Denver Nuggets. I haven't even looked at the odds. I think that I would bet on the Denver Nuggets if you gave me minus 110 odds.
So, to me, that would be a foolish bet for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Nuggets, let me just read off from the box score here, because they're going to run out of juice eventually. Like, they are in elite shape, and Jamal Murray is one of the most well-conditioned guards in the league. Jokic, despite the way his body looks, he's actually in an elite amount of shape. He talks about the things he does to make sure he can make deep playoff runs. Last night for the Nuggets, in a game that ended in regulation, by the way, 121-119, 44 minutes out of Jamal Murray, 40 minutes out of Chris Brown, 42 minutes out of Nikola Jokic, who, by the way, 42, 22, and 6. Only the fourth player in NBA history to put up 40, 20, and 5 in a playoff game. That dude continues his incredible run of dominance in the postseason at this time of the year. So there's always reason to have faith in what the Nuggets can be. But I got to look at the facts of all of this, right? There was a reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder put up the greatest point differential in the history of the NBA this past regular season. There's a reason why they won 68 games. And in fact, there is a great reason why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be the most valuable player this year in the NBA. He was that guy. He is a closer. It's a top 5 Tuesday. I'll be giving out my top 5 closers in this NBA playoffs. You made a mention in our group chat that I got to have AG.
I mean, tell me someone else who has 2-game winners.
I know. I get it.
You're talking about this playoffs, and that happened in this playoffs, even though it's only been given 8 chances.
There's a difference between being a guy that makes clutch and being a closer are two different things. Now, he is both. He is both to a certain degree. Is he a top 5 closer? Well, you'll have to wait and see when I deliver my list later on in Theoretically Speaking here, because it does get a little it gets crunched now. We got 8 teams left, C-Cat. We got 8 teams left. Am I really going to pick a guy who's the third option on this squad at best?
Crowded list. I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Come on. But again, back to the Thunder Nuggets. Not only are they playing hefty minutes, and not only is there going to be less rest in between games in this series, just like in the rest of the second round series, I do believe that the Thunder, they got woken up last night. Like, and if they didn't, then we have a whole nother problem. But Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, I mean, Shai himself had a good game, but outside of him and Alex Caruso, there were a bunch of no-shows throughout their roster when it came to retaining that lead. But then also, once things got tight, nobody showed up in a big way, in a major way, to put the Thunder over the line there. I don't believe the Thunder collapsed in a sense. I think the Nuggets just out-hustled them, outworked them, and they rose to the moment, whereas players on Oklahoma City withered in the bright lights. That, though, had more to do with being off for a week. That had more to do with playing 4 games against a Memphis Grizzlies team that already had their bags packed for vacation before the playoffs even tipped off. I just don't think they were necessarily ready. I believe, and this is going to sound crazy based on what we saw last night, when it comes to Thunder Nuggets, there's a better chance this game or this series ends in a gentleman's sweep in favor of the Thunder than it does the Nuggets actually pulling out a series victory.
That's insane. Really?
How so?
You think 4 consecutive wins from the team that just lost on their home floor?
Yes. I'd love to see what the odds are on that. Because I would take those.
I'll tell you right now. Explain to me why you think that Thunder have the capability. You think, listen, I hear the dead legs. I hear that argument, but eventually they're going to wake back up. Eventually, the best.
The Nuggets?
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets gave a great point. Okay, so here's what. The Nuggets won by 2 last night, right? Chet hits those 2 free throws. We're likely talking about a scare from the Nuggets that the Thunder end up closing the game out and winning, right? If Aaron Gordon misses that 3, which again is wide open, right? Like, I can't take away plays that the Nuggets made, but what I can do is give context around why I believe this thing is not going to repeat itself. The one glaring stat that is going to change from this game to game 2 is the Denver Nuggets pulled down 63 rebounds. They out-rebounded Oklahoma City by 20 on the road. They not just did that, but there's only been 3 other teams in the history of the modern-day playoffs in the NBA to reach the mark of 63 rebounds. That means a couple of things. Number one, you ain't boxing out and securing defensive boards when you close out a possession. I do believe the Thunder are going to be better about that going forward, despite how Jalen Williams was joking around and trying to quote memes from Taurean Prince back in his Baylor March Madness days, which I thought was absolutely cornball behavior. I do believe that Mark Dagnall, who we believe is a good head coach, is going to make the proper adjustments, likely going to play a little bit more Isaiah Hardenstein, likely going to lean on some of the guys that can actually create rebounding opportunities for the Thunder and not allow them to be bullied. The Nuggets have a lot of hustle dudes. Like, Russell Westbrook is going to attack the boards. Christian Brown is going to attack the boards. Jokic is obviously going to be a guy that's going to be hovering around 15 to 16 boards per game in this series. It's hard to keep them off of it, but you can do a better job of gang rebounding. And I don't think the Thunder matched the Nuggets' intensity when it came to the simplest of things, hustle plays. You clean that one aspect up, and the margin changes vastly in the Thunder's difference. The other side of that is Jamal Murray is going through a torture chamber of guards to go up against defensively. He's got Lou Dort, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, on his ass, fighting through screens in his grill, giving him hell day in and day out. When he gets a break from him, he might see some Shai, who is a B-plus, at least, perimeter defender. He's going to see Cason Wallace, who is an absolute dog at the head of the snake at the top of the defense for the Thunder, and also Alex Caruso. I don't even have to say anything following that. We know what Caruso brings on the defensive end thanks to his days with the Lakers, and now he's giving that same kind of effort with the Thunder. I just think the Thunder have too many guys to throw at the Nuggets, and the legs are going to get tired, and the Thunder are going to rear themselves into better form here. I would be interested not only to see what the odds are for a gentleman's sweep in the favor of the Thunder, I'm also curious what the Game 2 line is. I bet you it's about 10 or 11 points in favor of Oklahoma City, despite what happened last night.
So here are some numbers hot off the presses of Hard Rock Bet. I told you I would bet on the Nuggets to win this series if it was a pick'em at -110. Nuggets winning Game 1 last night. The real number is Thunder -300, Nuggets +240 to win the series in general.
Okay,
your
+240 to win the series
that you wanted to make is the Thunder to win in 5 games, a.k.a. Thunder winning games 2, 3, 4, and 5. Gentlemen sweep. Those odds from Hard Rock Bet are +300.
Not that far off.
Yeah, it wasn't as laughable as I made it seem. Just 30 cents of juice.
And I would take that bet, and I would probably hedge it in a Game 5 because you never doubt the heart of a champion, and you know that Jokic can take over any given game, and the Thunder, as they showed last night, are privy to boneheaded, youthful mistakes. The fouling late game, Chet Holmgren, who's an 80% free throw shooter, missing not 1 but 2 late in the game, like straight up dribbling down his legs. It was embarrassing what happened to the Thunder, but what I will say is the Nuggets, they came, saw, and conquered. They are the ones that took advantage of the Thunder's inexperience, of the Thunder's lethargicness. They came and clasped that win. I believe it was a greater embarrassment what happened with the Boston Celtics. You are a reigning champion. You've already been there and done that. And for Jason Tatum, who gave nobody panic when he touched the ball in big moments, for Jaylen Brown, who let Mikal Bridges absolutely manhandle him and strip the ball away, you don't even get a game tying or winning shot up. You absolutely get just disheartened in front of your home crowd.